and you will be able to listen to the show.
Jolie, ladies and gentlemen, buckle your seatbelts, keep your arms in the vehicle at all times. Wrestle Talk begins in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Enjoy the ride.
What is up, Wrestle Talk Podcast family? How the heck is that going? I know that I am doing absolutely amazing. It has been an amazing week. We are at episode 301, ladies and gentlemen. 301. It's going to be an absolutely amazing show tonight. Let me tell you something. We've got so much in store for you all tonight. We got the High Spot segment, which is back again. We got the Shoot and Shout segment. We got the Wrestle Talk Podcast Game Show Challenge. We got the Fantasy Wrestling segment. And if that's not enough, we've got Kris Brady and Nightmare coming on. Two amazing guests. We cannot wait to talk to them. I've got my Goose Island IPA nice and cold in my Wrestle Talk Podcast mug. So, ladies and gentlemen, what I want you to do right now is take whatever you're drinking, whether it's water, soda, tea, Kool-Aid, vodka, whatever it is, and take one drink for the Wrestle Talk Podcast. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, take a drink.
Oh, yeah.
Woo! That's good stuff. All right, ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, you know what time it is. You know who we're bringing on. The man, the myth, the legend, Intern Timmy. If you could please hit that music.
¿Qué pasa? ¿Qué pasa? ¿Qué pasa? Loyal members of the Wrestle Talk Familia. Welcome everybody to episode 301 of the Wrestle Talk Podcast. What a pleasure it is to have so many people already tuning in on the Facebook Live. I got a bunch of people on the phone line, but we are going to make time for each and every caller tonight. That is our commitment to you. So, knowing that you have that commitment, it's really simple to engage. All you got to do is dial the number, friends. 657-383-1521. We've got a very special guest that's going to be joining us here in about 6 or 7 minutes. It's actually our newest sponsor. And we're going to be talking to him about why he decided to come on board with Wrestle Talk and what he's got going on over at I-70 Sports Media. Jeremy Karp will be with us in just a matter of moments. But guys, let me just take a quick flashback to last week. Huge thanks to all of our wonderful guests, Midwest wrestling legends, Tim Miller and Derek Stone were in the house, and they both did a tremendous job. I apologize for some of the technical difficulties that we had, but guys, episode 300 was incredible nonetheless. We had Vinsanity in the house. We had Money Mayo in the house. We had Hollis Giroux in the studio, and so many other people that honestly it would take me the whole 2 hours just to tell you everybody that was a part of last week's show. But what I will say this is, for those of you who have contributed in any way to our success over the last 300 episodes, gracias. We love you and we thank you. It is truly appreciated. Is it not, Nightmare? Is it not truly appreciated? Oh, okay, well, I don't know. Does Jonesy not appreciate you guys? Jonesy! Don't leave me hanging, Jonesy! Jeez Louise, Jonesy.
Of course I appreciate you guys. What are you talking about?
I see what you did there. I see what...
Intro Timmy is sitting here buzzing in my ear about all these callers, so I apologize. I did not hear that. But yes, of course. I'm totally grateful for everything. Absolutely.
Okay, well, thank you, Jonesy. And intern Timmy, you know what you got to do, bro. If you're going to pull if you're going to pull Jonesy away from me, you got to let me know, bro. You got to let me know. Let me know. Please let me know so that I'm not throwing to Nightmare Jones, who isn't paying attention. But anyway, we'll address intern Timmy after the show. As far as tonight goes, we want to finish thanking not only Derek Stone and Tim Miller, but our friends over at Ring of Honor. Matt, you hooked us up. I'm not going to give your last name because then people start blowing you up. Oh, no, Mark, I'm sorry. Matt's from another company. Mark hooked us up with PCO, and my goodness, for a guy who's been so successful in his career, Jonesy, for him to be as forthcoming and as open with us as he was, absolutely shocked me. And I shouldn't be shocked because I know he's got a great reputation in the business, man, but to get as much out of PCO as we did, we didn't do 20 minutes. We didn't do 25 or 30. No, we went almost 40 minutes with PCO, man. The show was already extraordinary, but what he contributed, dude, made it absolutely special, Joe. Am I right?
Oh, absolutely. He did. Like, it's amazing to see somebody that has accomplished so much in his professional wrestling career to still be that humble. So, well, yeah, absolutely.
No question. Well, listen, let me finish my shout-outs. I also have to give a big shout-out to all the members of the FWWC for an incredible FWWC In Your House pay-per-view. We're going to be talking to them sometime in the second hour of the world's premier fantasy wrestling promotion. You always wanted to be a wrestler, but you can't for whatever reason. FWWC is a great alternative. We do everything except actually physically have the matches. We compete under a different set of rules. But if you love cutting promos and you think you know about wrestling, the FWWC is the place to be. Last but not least, of course, Wrath Bums Engraving. That's right, Wrath Bums Engraving, putting together our exclusive first edition Wrestle Talk podcast mugs. That's $20 with your name engraved, plus shipping, for a piece of wrestling memorabilia that will never soil, it'll never bleach, and it'll never shrink. All you got to do is stop from dropping it. And if you can avoid dropping it, this mug, Jonesy, which is proven to make your beer taste 17.5% better, can be yours as you help support your boys over here at the Wrestle Talk Podcast, man. So big shout out to all of our sponsors, and a special thanks to our supporters, Adam Frex, Royal Mills Transportation, Kincaid at the Oak Park Mall, and, of course, the Conspiracy Farm with Jay Hollywood and UFC Hall of Famer Pat Milicic, man. That pretty much takes all the business and puts it in a nice little bow and wraps it up. Jonesy, let's go ahead and get into the show as we do what we always do about this time, where we ask everybody to respectfully remove their caps, place their hands over their hearts as we pay homage to the greatest country on God's green earth. And that's America, damn it.
Oh, say, can you see? And the rocket. Uh-oh. I'll make up for it now. For the land of the free.
Brings a tear in my eye every single time. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and get into the high spots segment. Intern Timmy, hit that.
Let's go!
All right, ladies and gentlemen, so we do have a lot that we want to talk about. One thing I wanted to talk about is this Twitter feud that is going on between Tommaso Ciampa and Randy Orton. So after NXT TakeOver, Randy Orton tweeted, and if I'm not mistaken, this is what he said. He said that, let's see, where is it? Where is it? I know that is here.
Well, Jonesy, while you look for that...
About
Well, listen, here's what I want to do.
He tweeted about...
All right, hold on. Find the tweet. While you find that tweet, I'm going to actually have Jeremy Karp of Interstate 70 Sports Media join us for a couple of moments during the High Spot segment. We'll get his opinion on the tweets and a couple other things, and then we'll also talk about that relationship, this new budding relationship, as the newest sponsor of the Wrestle Talk podcast. Jonesy, are you okay with Jeremy Karp joining us?
Yeah, go ahead.
Awesome. Jeremy, are you with us, brother? Can you hear me?
Absolutely. How you guys doing?
Woo! That's how.
Let me tell you, I'm going to say that national anthem, that gets me in the feels every week I hear it.
Every time. Like Jonesy said, brings a tear to my eye every single time. Well, check this out, Jeremy. We're going to get to all the sponsorship stuff on the tail end of your call. Let's go ahead and let Jonesy lay out this tweet and all of our High Spots topics for tonight. And before Jonesy does that, let me encourage everybody to participate in today's show. Share the broadcast. Hit the thumbs up. Hit the heart. That encourages us. This is a long show, and we need that tackling fuel. We need that wrestling fuel. So do those things for us. And if you really think you're a Billy Badass and you want to arrive, raise hell, and leave, dial that number, 657-383-1521. And call us if you ain't scared. That's all I got to say. Jonesy, drop it on us, baby.
Yeah, so Randy Orton, after NXT, he made the tweet. It says, "Per WWE NXT TakeOver in your house was great. Slapping my leg for you guys. Sincerely, leg slap," which is basically going off because of them slapping their legs when they were doing kicks. So Ciampa responded by saying that he lost to Karrion Kross in a quick one-sided match at TakeOver, and he said that his daughter has been having trouble sleeping, so luckily he found a remedy. And that remedy is Randy Orton matches. It's better than Nyquist. So then Randy Orton responds and says, "Looks like I hurt the feelings of the self-appointed locker room leader of a wrestling school. Let me know what time leg slap classes start so I can take my game to the next level." Holy crap.
Wow!
That is brutal.
I believe, Jeremy and Joe, I believe we actually have a drop that, like, absolutely fits that perfectly. Enter, Timmy, if you could do me a favor and hit the gunshots, because Dizam, talk about some heat. Woo! Well, we got some other topics we're going to cover, but Jeremy, I-70 Sports Media, baby, you're live. Bring the heat. What are your thoughts on that, man? Let's keep it 100.
You know, to me, it's one of two things. Either number one is taking some legitimate shots at Ciampa and NXT as a whole for their style. I mean, we all know the NXT style, and a lot of people praise it a lot more than, you know, the main roster of Raw and SmackDown and how their styles are of wrestling. My second idea of what it could be is just him being a damn good heel like he always has been. You know, it could go one or the other. But honestly, considering how Tommaso Ciampa shot back, I think this is some legitimate thing going on because, like I said, I love the NXT product. I think they put on high-quality matches, and yeah, say what you want about slapping the legs, but you know what? To me, they tell great stories, and that's what I'm invested in, and that's what the audience is invested in, and that's all that matters in the grand scheme of things.
Wow, you know what? I think that's a fair take. Jonesy, I know you brought the story to the table, bro. I've got to know what you think about that, man.
Yeah, I think that this is just Randy Orton being Randy Orton. Randy Orton loves to be the heel, and I think this is his way of being a heel. So, you know, I think that the Tommaso Ciampa and Randy Orton match would be absolutely awesome. Hopefully that's what they are building up to. So we just have to wait and see.
We will have to wait and see, and what I can tell you is this is the kind of heat that the smarks like, okay? We all talk about the casual
Absolutely.
wrestling. We all talk about the casual wrestling fans, right? And how WWE's always catering to the casual wrestling fans, and that for us that we watch wrestling every single week, guys, that what they're doing is just boring and it's repetitious. This sort of stuff gets us nerds hyped. Whether it's a shoot or a work, I have to just say this, I absolutely love it. And I see both guys' point. Yes, the leg slap fest is reminiscent of Ring of Honor. Why? Because you got nothing but Ring of Honor guys in NXT. What do you think you're going to get? Okay? What do you freaking expect? Now, that style is very different from what we're used to with WWE, which is why it is an alternative brand. It's perfect for those who are tired of the monotony of the two main shows. NXT is perfect. I think they're both right, and I think it's absolutely fantastic. I hope they continue it, and I really hope that it leads to a match. So I absolutely agree with both of you.
Yeah.
I agree.
All
Yeah.
right, so moving on, here is another story, and
Time out. Hey, can I have you guys? Can I have you guys speak up a little bit, please? I just got a message from a listener. They're having a little trouble hearing you guys, so if you guys could just speak up a little bit, I would really appreciate it.
Yeah,
Sounds good.
Thanks.
Here is another story. So you all know that a couple weeks ago they had a segment on SmackDown with Otis and Mandy Rose at a pool. Well, what you don't know is that pool is actually Zack Ryder's pool. And the funny story about that is that Zack Ryder had gotten fired from the WWE, and WWE called his girlfriend, Chelsea Green, to ask if they could use his pool. They didn't call him, they called her. So they fired him, and then they want to use his pool for a skit, which ultimately, obviously, he allowed it to happen, and it was a pretty awesome skit. But I just think that that's kind of funny how they fired him, and then they wanted to use his pool, but they didn't call him and ask him. They called his girlfriend.
Wow. Jeremy, I know you're going to have some thoughts on this one, bro. What do you think? Is that nonsense, or do you think it's cool?
I mean, I think that's nuts, like, that you fire the guy, and yet you don't have, it doesn't matter whether it's Vince or if it's a WWE official, you know, another one, like, to fire someone, you know, just on the spot, and then not have the gall to ask him personally to use his own pool. You had to go to Chelsea Green about it, you know, like, if it's your, you know, just go directly to him. Don't try to sneak your way around all of this. And honestly, if they did that route, we might not even have this topic going on right now. But it's for the method they went about using the pool for the Otis and Mandy segment, which, I mean, I thought that was a cool segment. I absolutely love this whole thing with Otis and Mandy Rose. I'm just going to throw it right out there. That is, it cracks me up. I think it's great, you know, that, so I enjoy that. But the fact that they did not go directly to Zack Ryder about using his pool, just, it stuns me. It's shocking, and honestly, I mean, come on, that's kind of low. You guys, you got to man up sometime, you know?
Yeah.
I want to know what you guys think on the matter.
Well, listen, I've got my thoughts, and we're going to share that in just a moment. But let me just remind everybody, if you get a moment, go over to Interstate 70 Sports Media on any social media platform, but specifically on Facebook. That's Jeremy Karp's website, where he's covering everything from KC to St. Louis and everything in between. Make sure you guys give him a like. He's got a great amount of content already up on the website. And if you love pro wrestling just like we do, that's great. But I know most of you guys, and there's a lot of bleed over, right? Like wrestling fans love football, football fans love wrestling, and so on and so forth. So make sure you guys take a moment and give Interstate 70 Sports Media a follow on social. Now, I think, and before I give my thoughts, I think there is a WWE Hall of Famer who can sum up not only the actions of Zack Ryder, I'm going to say here, not only the actions of WWE, but also of Zack Ryder pertaining to this situation. Let's go ahead and hear from Iron Sheik.
Fucking bullshit!
Now, I see you guys looking at me like I'm crazy. Night Owl. That's Night Owl. That's night with a K. Get it right. Okay? Night Owl, Night Owl. What are you talking about? Zack Ryder is a victim here. How could you say that what he did was effing BS? Let me tell you why. Because he went on social media and fussed, and shout out to California. We got people from Cali in the house. Thank you so much for being here. We got people from Florida in the house. Thank you for being here. We love you. How are you going to bitch on social media, Jeremy and Joe, and then still let them do it? You went on and ranted on social about how disrespected. Oh, they weren't even man enough to call me, and they called my girlfriend instead, and blase, 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 blah. Okay, you know what? He let it happen. So clearly, the feelings don't go as deep as he wants you to think. And then he tells the story that Miz and Morrison were wanting to come over because he lives right outside of Orlando, and they said, hey, we're going to invite Otis. He thought it was all a work because of the request. It ended up not being a work. Otis comes over, he falls in love with Otis, and because he falls in love with Otis, he lets it happen. Point being, he lets it happen. So if you let it happen, my friend, you have no grounds to go on social media and bitch. And it, you know, hey, well, shout out to my man Danny, checking in from Massachusetts. Thank you for being here as well. If you're gonna make a hissy fit about it on social, don't do it after you let them come in, because you look like a punk. From my perception, you didn't want them there. You felt offended, but you still let them in. Are you pandering for a job, or are you just a bitch? I don't know. I don't know Zack Ryder. I'm not his personal friend, but his actions are just as suspect to me as WWE is low down and dirty. Those are just my thoughts. If you're that offended, don't let them in your house, bro. That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say. Well, anywho, Jonesy, before we go on to any other topics, let's go ahead and do it. Jeremy, you decided to take the leap of faith and join the Wrestle Talk podcast as a sponsor. You've been a supporter for a long time. We've had you on as a guest. We have a great relationship. But you said, no, I want Wrestle Talk podcast to be part of what helps my brand grow. You approached me. We had discussions. We came to a very fair agreement. And here we are, moving forward together in the Midwest, united, instead of having friction. Some podcasts and media outlets don't like each other. It's almost like they're always in competition with each other. But no, we are breaking barriers every single day. Oh, New Jersey's in the house. Shout out to Frankie as well. Thank you, brother. Hey, you from Jersey? I'm from Jersey. Anyway, Jeremy, the floor is yours, man. Tell us, why did you choose the Wrestle Talk podcast to support your brand, your growing brand? Why did you choose us?
I mean, I chose you guys. Let me tell you, it's like you said, for years. You know, we've met at many wrestling shows. I've been on the podcast so many times. But you know what? You guys have not only increased viewership every show, you've gotten more attention across the nation, across the Midwest. It's all about growth, expansion, and loyalty. And we got all three of those things. You and I hadn't had a disagreement when we talked about the Interstate 70 Sports Media team, you know, being a sponsor with the Wrestle Talk podcast. you were exactly right. We had you presented me with a great deal, if anything else, and I remember exactly what I said. I'm like, wait, that's the deal? I didn't think it was going to be that great in my favor. I thought, hot damn, it was going to be something a lot more steeper. But you came to a great deal, and I couldn't be more thankful. I know my team members couldn't be any more thankful to be a part of this, and it's wonderful. That's why, and plus pro wrestling's in my blood. I mean, I've been a wrestling fan practically for over 15 years now, and it's such a great part of my life. So hearing you and Jonesy talking about it every week, it's wonderful. So to be a part of this, it's really something special, and I look forward to every week after.
Well, that's great to hear. Jonesy, I'm going to have you jump in here, man, because you're the guy that was here with Wrestle Talk from the very, very first day, and now, and I know we talked about this quite a bit for episode 300, but clearly, man, it wasn't just like luck that got us to this point. How does it make you feel to hear that somebody with a college education, with a very wonderful brand, a wonderful up-and-coming brand, is putting faith in you and me and the Wrestle Talk family to help his brand grow? Especially since they are here, at least for me, it's local, bro. So I'm just curious to know, how does that make you feel being the originator, the founder of the Wrestle Talk podcast, man?
Oh, it's definitely a honor, to have somebody that thinks so highly of the podcast that he had to be, a sponsor of it. So, that is completely awesome, and hats off to you, Jeremy, for taking that leap and, being, wanting to run with this, because, it's obvious he's got a higher education, because he could have chosen any podcast to try to sponsor, but he chose the best podcast. So,
I love it. Love it.
I love that. Absolutely.
That's excellent. Well, I'm going to follow that up, Jeremy, by asking you one last question, because we are going to bring on wrestling's greatest attraction, Kris Brady, here in just a couple of moments. So why don't you go ahead, the floor is yours, tell us exactly what I-70 Sports Media is and why they should support you.
Well, let me tell you, I appreciate that. So, Interstate 70 Sports Media, I-70 Sports for short, I started it from scratch last September. It all started with a podcast of my own, which I still have. And to kind of make a long story short, I thought of expansion. I thought of doing something that I love, turning my passion, which is sports journalism. It's all the sports I love, the wrestling I love, putting it all together. I took an old college website I hadn't used in 3 years, and I revamped it with help from a dear friend of mine who's my business partner. And we cover sports from Kansas City. We cover all the sports in St. Louis. We cover them in Columbia. We're going to start expanding to cover more colleges, and we cover World League Wrestling. We cover Dynamo Pro Wrestling and South Broadway Athletic Club. We're working on so much when it comes to what we can cover. Why you should support us? Well, I think it goes without saying. We are very wholesome. We are a team. We're not like a team. We are a team. We're a family. We care about each other, and more importantly, we care about the audience. We do our best to make sure that whoever follows, whether it's one person or right now we just hit the 500 like mark and the 2,000 follower mark on Facebook. Those people mean the world to us. Any support and every support is special. And I want to thank you guys for having, not just for me having the faith in you guys, but I want to thank you both for having the faith in me to let us be a sponsor on this podcast. Because it's like you said, Joe, I mean, why go with the rest when you're with the best?
Woo! I love that. Mic drop by Jeremy Karp, ladies and gentlemen. If you love sports, including professional wrestling, do me a favor. Let's show the power of the Wrestle Talk family here tonight I want to challenge at least 3 people that are listening to the show live right now, or if you're listening to the replay, go over to Interstate 70 Sports Media on Facebook and give those guys a like. I want Jeremy to know that he made a good investment by trusting us here at the Wrestle Talk Podcast. I want to show it, and I want to show it in numbers. So do that for us, even if you got to jump off of here for a quick second. Go ahead and give them the support and love that you guys always show to us. We would really, really appreciate it. All right, Jeremy, well, we're going to let you go, brother, so we can move on, man. Thank you so much, and I'm sure we'll be hearing from you on a very regular basis. You take it easy out there.
Absolutely. Peace and love, you guys. Thank you so much.
Peace! Breaking
All
news.
right, ladies and gentlemen, we do have some breaking news. The most talked about angle in professional sports in recent weeks is the shocking pregnancy of Becky Lynch, who will welcome her child into the world when it busts free from a huge egg scheduled to hatch at Survivor Series. Pregnancy has always been a tricky phenomenon for the World Wrestling Entertainment, rarely resulting in the miracle of birth as humans typically know it. You've had Mae Young, who gave birth to a hand. Lita was pregnant once, but the baby was miscarried after Kane, who impregnated Lita against her will, collided her with a manner that was not Sinski's fault. So now you're going to have Becky Lynch, who is going to allow her child to be born outside of an egg, just like the gobbledygooker.
What? Are you serious right now, son? What are you talking about? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Joe, where did you pull this nonsense from, bro? Where the hell did you get this information?
Kayfabe news.
Oh, dear God. Why did I even ask? I shouldn't have even asked. Jeez Louise. Well, that's a good one, Jonesy, man. And thanks for the laugh. I always need a good laugh. And as a matter of fact, that's what Wrestle Talk's all about having a good time. Right? And by the way, if I hadn't mentioned it already, I mentioned it on last week's show. And you know what? I was a little perplexed. I was like, wow, of everyone who could have called in for episode 300, there was one person missing. And that person, who has been with us from through thick and thin, is my man Jay Hollywood, who is now watching live. Brother, I shared the news last week. I'm going to go ahead and share it again. Congratulations on your Dish Network show alongside UFC Hall of Famer Pat Milicic. The Conspiracy Farm is a fantastic show dealing with all things conspiracy. They're not an official sponsor of the show, but they are tremendous supporters of the Wrestle Talk Podcast. And to me, that's worth just as much as if they were an actual sponsor like Interstate 70 Sports Media. Jay Hollywood, you my brother. And dude, this is what you didn't know about Jay Hollywood, Jonesy. Best buffalo burgers in the game. My man, and when I say buffalo burgers, I mean it. I mean like buffalo meat burgers. Nobody does it better. And if you don't believe me, ask my man Money Mayo. He was with me when we went to St. Louis and had him for the Dynamo Pro show, bro. It was heat. We went to Dynamo and we went to Glory Pro. It was absolutely incredible. All right, well, listen. Kris Brady will be joining us in just a matter of moments. I got one last topic. Intern team, why don't you screen that caller? That might be him. I got one last topic that I wanted to throw out. And really, it's more commentary, okay? And here it is. I have rarely been so impressed by a pay-per-view as I was by WWE In Your House. Now, you could say, well, Night Out, we know it's pretty much all nostalgia. You're old. You're turning 36 in a couple of days. So because it reminded you of your childhood, that's why you thought it was the greatest thing ever. And I am going to be very forthright in admitting this. You're damn right! You're damn right I am! You know why? Because wrestling in my era was the shiznit. And everything before it was really awesome too. But the fact, Jonesy, that we got Todd Pettingale, okay, and they did the ICO, NCO advertisement. You guys are going to be like, oh, you're dumb. You didn't know what it said. Listen.
I go pro.
There it is.
I go pro.
There. Thank you, Jonesy. Bro, it was so incredible to get that old school feel. And here's what I want to say. I want to say thank you, AEW. I want to say thank you to AEW because it's forced WWE, along with the pandemic, to think outside the box. And it was so absolutely fun to sit there and watch the commercials and listen to it. And I'll give NWA a little credit too, because they do commercials like this all the time. It just makes me so happy that they've really started to care about having fun again. Okay, it's not always about $9.99 and pitching this and pitching that. You can tell they really went out of their way to make sure that people had fun while they were watching the show, and I really, really enjoyed it. The other thing that I wanted to say was congratulations to the ladies that we're all familiar with. The Marty Bells, the Mia Yims, and now Shotzi Blackheart, all whom I've had the pleasure of seeing perform live and in person. And I know many of the people who listen to this show have seen them as well, and a lot of also people that listen to the show have shared locker rooms with these ladies. So congratulations to them for doing what they're doing and continuing to pursue their dreams. It's very, very exciting to me, particularly in the opening match of NXT In Your House, to see Shotzi Blackheart in the ring and against Mia Yim. I thought it was so freaking awesome, dude. I love it. They might have even been on the same team. It doesn't matter. The point is, support your local independent promotion. It doesn't matter how small it is, because one day you might see these same people on the big show. And let me tell you something, their t-shirts ain't going to cost $15 like they do at the indie show. They're going to cost $30 plus shipping. So get your merch. Because I'm telling you right now, a Shotzi Blackheart t-shirt right now has got to be worth at least $30. At the indie show, she always sold them for $15 if I remember correctly. So, support your local independent promotion, period. That said, Jonesy, it is that time, my friend. It is time to get into our first featured interview of the evening. If you haven't shared the broadcast already, you're slipping on your pippin' and you're slacking on your mackin'. Jonesy, do me a favor and introduce wrestling's greatest attraction. Would you do that for me?
Oh, absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be bringing on a guy, they don't call him wrestling's greatest attraction for anything. This guy, he trained the Snake Pit Pro, Kansas City. He's wrestled for ECCW. He's wrestled for Combat Pro Wrestling. He's a Combat Pro Wrestling Cruiserweight Champion. He's wrestled people like, so many different people. Ladies and gentlemen, let me allow you to introduce to you the one and only wrestling greatest attraction, Kris Brady. What's going on, Kris? How's it going?
Man, it is good. It's a little rainy out here, but what's going on with you guys?
Oh man, we are kicking it. We're cooler than a cucumber. We're sharper than a pencil, and yeah, we're shinier than a referee with the golden whistle. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, I like that. I like to hear that.
No, but wait. Jonesy, if you're gonna steal my lines, you gotta say it right.
I changed it a little bit.
Okay, that's fine. But listen, the actual line is Kris Brady. He keeps it more official than a referee with a golden whistle. But good try. I give you three out of 5 super kicks for that one, Jonesy. 3 out of 5.
Man, we're gonna have to.
Do these super kicks involve leg slapping?
Calm down, Randy Orton. You gotta relax, my friend. You gotta relax.
Oh, my goodness.
Yo, what up to Ref Joe in the house? Thank y'all for checking us out, man. We got a lot of people on the live stream. Can y'all hit the like button, the share button, and the heart button? We're trying to hit 30 tonight, man. We really, really are. So,
All right.
Kris,
So,
Joe is going to take it away, but I want to say this before Joe takes it away. One of your big fans and supporter of yours is actually checking us out live. We got Frankie Stain checking us out.
Oh, that's my dad.
That's my daddy. That's right. That's right. Love that. And yo, we had
yeah, sure.
Yo, Jonesy, we had homeboy on that made an appearance on AEW Dark. What was his name, bro? A couple of weeks ago, his mama called in.
Mr. Grimm.
Mr. Grimm. That's right. Mr. Grimm made an appearance on the Wrestle Talk podcast. His mom called in and showed him love, right? And then the next week, he was at AEW Dark. And then you know who else is listening right now to you, Chris? Billy Simmons, the man in charge over at XWE, showing you lots of love right now, bro. So if you feel like you're not missed here in the Midwest, you're absolutely mistaken, bro. We love you and we miss you here in the good old Midwest, bro. But I'm going to let Jonesy take it away. I just want to make sure that you knew that. Go ahead and comment, and then it'll be Joe.
I miss the Midwest tremendously, man. I miss it. I miss wrestling for SWE, and I miss KCX, man. I miss all the guys who know about them. Hope once everything cools over.
Wow, bro. And you know what? That's great to hear. And then the last one, Josie, I'm going to sneak this one in on you. There's also a lovely chica who wants to say hello to her favorite wrestler in the whole wide world, and her name is Felicia Brady, for obvious reasons. So shout out to you for checking us out, too.
That's wifey right there.
Wifey's in the house, boy. Yeah, yeah. Let's go, gang. Joe, you know what to do, baby. Do the damn thing.
Let's go.
Yeah, absolutely. So as we did what I'm looking for, research on you, we saw that you started your day Snake Pit Pro. What was it like wrestling for Snake Pit Pro?
Yeah.
Training or wrestling?
Well, training
was intense. I mean, you got to think about the way they were brought up, and the way Finn was trained, and the way Hilo was trained, and then you had Jake the Snake imposing as ever. I mean, super cool dude, super awesome coaches, but their training was rigorous. There was times where I felt like throwing up. There was times where I wanted to quit, but it was very much worth it in the end. So I was very trained, very old school.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. You know, there's a lot of people that were trained old school, and there's people that feel that, you know, training has definitely changed throughout the years.
Yeah.
You know, there are people that will tell you that when they started wrestling, that, you know, it was an honor to be trained as a wrestler. Not everybody was able to be trained as a wrestler, and now it seems like anybody can be trained as a wrestler. You know, have you seen a change in training since you started professional wrestling?
On my end, no. I've only been in it for 2 years, so I mean, everything's pretty much been the same. But I mean, I'm sure the coaches have seen things. I mean, Finn has a pair of boots when he was trained, and he has a pair of boots that have blood all over them. And the way that he would tell us how it was like, okay, yeah, that's like, it's kind of like being in the military. You know, back in the old days, they could put their hands on you, and then nowadays, if they even tell you to shut up, they're bad people.
Yeah,
things have changed. Things have certainly changed.
I mean, I'm sure from their point of view it's changed, but for mine, I've only been in 2 years, so nothing different on my end.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. So I've been onto your Facebook, and I absolutely love all of the videos on your Facebook. And one of them caught my eye, and I don't know who you were wrestling, but the caption of the video was "No sound, just death," and it was you taking what looked to be like a amazing brain buster. Can you explain that match?
Bad blood. It was at BCW. It was Blue Collar Wrestling out here in Portland.
Okay.
that was just a suplex from all hell. That was a very fun match. If I can remember it after that suplex, that was a great match, man. Anytime I get a chance to work people who have been around, especially like the NWA or the AIWS, man, I soak in as much knowledge as I can. So working with guys like Bad Blood, Spencer, are just exciting. Working those type of guys really brings the creativity out of me, and it allows me to learn a lot more in a match than I would just not being in the match. Does that make sense?
Sure. It definitely makes a sense. And another match that I wanted to talk about, and this was just one of the spots in the match. You wrestled a guy by the name of Just Extreme, and you took a avalanche Spanish fly off of the top rope. Now, you don't see people take that move very, very often.
Bad boy.
So I got to know, how scary was it to take a avalanche Spanish fly off of the top rope?
Yeah, man, I'm not. It's just exciting, man. He caught me by surprise with that knee, but from a personal experience, man, heights don't scare me to an extent. I'm very comfortable with what I know, what I can do and what I can't do, and that is definitely something that's not too scary. It's just a normal fun flip phone.
So, yeah, so I'm a little bit scared of heights, so, there's no way that I can do a backflip so I don't see Nightmare Jones ever doing a backflip off of the top rope, because I would probably land on my neck and end my professional wrestling career right then and there in front of the millions.
That's the biggest misconception. Everybody is so nervous to try new things, man. If you get in your head, you're obviously going to fail. But when you're in front of that crowd, man, that adrenaline's rushing through you, and everybody's watching. If I go up on the top rope, goddamn it, the only way I'm coming down is something crazy. I'm not going to climb up there and then climb back down second hop. Going, oh man, what if I fall and break my neck in front of thousands of people? Nah, man, there's no question about it. If I go up, I'm coming down.
There you go. See that's. I guess that's the kind of mentality that you have to have. All right, so I'm not going to take up all of the time, because I know that Renee has a bunch of questions. So, Renee, why don't you go ahead and ask whatever questions that you have?
No, absolutely I will. And I want to say this before I start. There's a lot of people on the Facebook Live feed. We've been up to as many as 27 during this broadcast, which is very impressive, even by our standards. There's a lot of people on here showing love to Kris Brady. Joseph Thorpe says, Kris Brady, miss you, brother. Can't wait to see you back in the Midwest. Matt Stockdale says, it was an honor to share a locker room with Kris Brady. Drew Chandler says, nobody misses you. Just kidding. Can't wait to have you back around. Again, I'm summarizing there.
Sounds like shit Drew would say.
That does sound like Drew. And, okay, it says, tell Kris we don't miss him. LOL, just kidding. And, of course, you heard the shout-outs from Billy and some of the other people. What I want to do is ask anybody who wants to share those thoughts to call in. We'll jump in, because we got a few people on hold already. But if you want to talk to Kris, we'll try to make some time for you, because I had several questions. So if you dial that number, it is 657-383-1521. Hey, it could even be your wife or your dad or whoever. They just want to come on and give you some love, right? Because clearly you've not given up on your dream, and you're continuing to succeed, even though obviously there's not been a lot of wrestling over the last couple of months. So if you guys want to put your money where your mouth is, dial that number to join the show. That's 657-383-1521. And while we wait for that to happen, let's go ahead and get into some of the stuff that you've done, starting with growing up in Washington. Because as you know, Kris, we're doing a 50 states kind of initiative here on the Wrestle Talk podcast, where we're bound and determined to talk to at least one representative from every single state. You happen to represent the great state of Washington. So let's start there. Talk to us about growing up in Washington and what it means to you to be able to represent your state.
Growing up in Washington, so I grew up in Tacoma. I grew up about 45 minutes away from Seattle.
Okay.
And growing up here was just like it would be growing up everywhere else. You know, I had my friends, I had my cliques, hanging out. I was on the wrestling team. You know, just doing normal, stupid teenage stuff, getting in trouble, but not too much trouble to where I was going to jail, but enough to where I came home and my mom would question me. But it's no different than growing up in any other state. I mean, you know, I have a really close-knit family, so growing up it was just me and my mom, my sister, and it was just us three. So, you know, and I'm very close to my mom. I know a lot of people are, but I'm super close to my mom.
Right.
And being able to represent the Pacific Northwest in the wrestling scene is a huge deal to me. I always knew I wanted to come back, and I always knew I wanted to wrestle here. But when I was growing up, there was no wrestling out here in the Pacific Northwest. I think Buddy Wayne had a wrestling school, but right when I went to go to that, he had passed away, unfortunately. I believe he passed away the same year.
Sucks.
Then I joined the military. Yeah, I joined the military, and then I got stationed here in Fort Lewis, like 15 minutes away from my house, where I grew up. So I was super close to home. I got out of the military. I wanted to be a professional wrestler since I was little. It was one of those things where if I look back, I don't want to look back on regret, and I don't want to look back saying, hey, what if I became a wrestler? Maybe I could have made it. Maybe I could have been good at it. So I gave it a try. All the commanders and first sergeants were telling me it was a joke. They all laughed in my face, you know, the normal routine. I got out of the military. I moved to my wife. I moved the kids out to Vegas, trained at the Space Pit. Then my wife got pregnant again, and we fell behind on a few bills because my focus going to Vegas was strictly wrestling. I didn't care how I was going to do it. I was going to do it. And unfortunately, on my end, I didn't think about working. I didn't think about keeping a job. All I thought about was, oh, what am I going to do next? Oh, who am I going to train with next? Where am I going to go now? So that was what I was focused on. My wife got pregnant towards the end after I debuted, and I had to unfortunately move back to Seattle. I couldn't find a job at the time, and then I rejoined the Army, and man, it brought me to Kansas, met some great people out there, had a blast. Every wrestling match that I did in Kansas, when I would come back to my unit, I was getting written up. They were trying to take my pay. They were trying to give me Article 15s. I was getting suspended. I couldn't leave post. But, I mean, obviously, as you guys know, I was still leaving post.
Yep.
So, man, it was all worth it in the end. We moved back to Vegas. I fell on my face again. I don't know how that happened. I fell on my face again. I moved back home. We got our own place now. Everything's straight now. And now I'm wrestling for the Pacific Northwest, which means the absolute world to me, man. It's so cool to be able to wrestle for promotions, especially when there was times when I left, to come back and have promotions like Without a Cause, Defy, DOA, CPW, who I currently hold the Cruiserweight title for. You had 3-2-1 Battle. You had so many new promotions that were up and coming or had been here for, you know, the last few years while I was gone. Man, it's so cool to come back and see more promotions popping up in the Pacific Northwest when it was nothing years ago.
And you, sir, are helping to resurrect it. Let me ask you a quick kind of personal question. How far are you from Vancouver?
Vancouver. You talking about Canada or Washington?
Well, like BC.
There's one in Washington. That's about 2.5 hours for me.
Bro.
Canada.
Go ahead.
What is it? Canada's about an hour and a half from Seattle. So I'm about 3 hours from Canada. 3 hours from Vancouver.
Okay. Well, here's what I'm going to say. I'm planning a trip to Vancouver in November. If you would like, and I know that's a bit of a drive, but if you would like, I would absolutely love to hang out with you and your wife. I'm bringing my wife with me to Vancouver. I've been to Vancouver once before. I fell in love with it. So, we'll talk about it off the air, man, but I would love for us to link up and hang out when I'm in Vancouver in November. How does that sound?
Man, that sounds like a blast. I've been wanting to go to Canada. I know my wife's been wanting to go to Canada too, so that'd be something fun. And 3 hours is not that far of a drive compared to half the drives I've done.
Well, 3 hours ain't much of a drive if you're a wrestler who takes his craft seriously. I mean, 3 hours is like par for the course most of the time. And Joe can speak to this because he's out on the Eastern Panhandle And Jonesy, you know, there's guys driving up and down the roads every single week, 3-4 hours in just one way, and then they drive all the way back, right, Joe? We've heard lots of stories like that.
Yeah, that
yeah,
happened to me in Colorado.
absolutely. Kiko, he was talking about how he would get off on Saturday. He would go to a wrestling show. He would drive back, and then he would sleep in the parking lot of his job because he had to be at work in like 2 hours.
Kikoa.
So, yeah.
Hey, that's Kikoa, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Kikoa. Sorry, Chris. So that's Kikoa, the MCW heavyweight champion, the Maryland champion. This big promotion. I'm sure you've heard of it. That's what he was doing. So nothing strange in the life of a pro wrestler to drive a couple of hours to get somewhere. But yeah, let's try to see if we can link that up. Let me move on to my next question, if that's okay. So let's talk about your time here. Let's talk about your time here in the Midwest. I know you work for XWE, you work for MEW, you work for KCXW. How did you end up here in the Midwest? You obviously grew up in Washington. You spent some time in Vegas. What brought you to the Midwest?
Man, so I'm sitting in a recruiting office. I'm getting ready to rejoin the Army. They send you to MEPS, and at MEPS is where they'll pick the location for you. And my wife told me anywhere but Oklahoma.
Does she really hate the Sooners or something? Is she like a Texas Longhorn fan or something?
She has a lot of family in Oklahoma, but she knows it's the middle of nowhere.
Okay.
So it's like, being used to Tacoma, Seattle's only 40 minutes away, but our town is a city. Like, it's like a legit, like, not downtown Kansas City, but think of, like, Kansas City, Kansas.
Okay, fair enough.
So the mall's like 5 minutes away from our house. There's constant business. Movie theater's 10 minutes away. All the stores. And she grew up in Oklahoma. And she just didn't want to go back. So I'm sitting in the recruiting office, and they're like, and me on my end, I made the mistake, and I should have known better. I told the recruiter in the office, anywhere but Oklahoma. And the lady on the phone heard me say that. And when she heard me say that, she was like, how about Leavenworth? And I'm like, what Army base in Leavenworth? Leavenworth, you talking about the prison? They laughed on the phone at me. They laughed at the phone on me, and I was like, sure, why not? I have no choice now. I already signed the contract. So, I was like, maybe I can go down there and I can wrestle. Let's see what there is out here. So my focus going down there was, I had to get in the military. I had to get the house that we had on base, super nice. I had to get a car. I had to do certain things. And then I looked on Google. I was like, okay, wrestling promotions in Kansas. KCXW popped up.
All right.
I was like, that's only 45 minutes. That's only 40 minutes away from me. That's not that bad.
Oh, shout out! Hey, wait, real quick. Regardless of what you're about to say, I do want to say this. Shout out to KCXW, David Catt and Jordan Smiley, and Jason. Don't want to butcher your last name, bro, but you know who you are. They have a new streaming service, and I'd rather be honest. I think it's Fiola, Jason Fiola. But I want to say this. Shout out to them, because after many, many years of trying to get their streaming service up and running, they finally got it going. So it's kcwrestlenet.com, and if you go there now, you can find a match from 2017 from the Kansas City Comic-Con between Shannon Reed and Hollis Giroux, and that lovely, sultry voice that you're going to hear calling the match is yours truly, the Night Owl. So shout out to KCXW and all the guys over there. They've been grinding for a long time, trying to make sure this streaming service becomes official, and it is $9.99 a month, my friends. You get 1 week free, and you can hear me calling a lot of the action on there. So make sure you go out and support your local independent promotion. If you're here in Kansas City, make sure you give KCXW a big shout out, because they're one of the best in the area, no question. But go ahead, Chris. I want to let you jump back in and tell us about your time in the Midwest.
Yeah, for sure. Shout out to the kids. It was awesome to be around. They stationed me in Leavenworth. I got everything situated. I went on Google. The first school to pop up was KCXW. And, there was a time where I was super cocky. And it wasn't like bad cocky. It was like, oh, if I can do it in Vegas, I can do it here. I don't need to learn anything, which is completely far from the truth. And I went to KTXW. I started training with them. They put me on a couple pre-shows. And I really wanted to wrestle. I wanted to prove to myself that even though I wasn't based under that guidance anymore, even though I was still talking to Sin on, Facebook Messenger and all that, I wanted to prove to myself that I can do it. And I found MEW. And when I found Brandon, I started talking to him. He gave me an opportunity. And that one match that I had with, now you're going to put me on the spot. I can't remember his name. Kit Reaver. I wrestled Kit Reaver for the MEW title. And when I came back through the curtain, Billy Simmons was sitting down, and he invited me out to XWE, which was the next night for a ladder match. They had like a 6-man ladder match, and they ended up making it a 7-man to throw me in. And that's how I got introduced to MEW and XWE.
Wow. Well, one door opens up another. And you know what, Kris? We're going to put you on hold for just a moment. Jonesy, I want you to talk to Kris so we can get his audio situated. It's going in and out, so if he's on speakerphone or whatever, just go ahead and address that because I want to make sure everyone can hear him very, very clearly. We're working on improving our setup, guys, but we definitely, if you call into the show, make sure you speak up, make sure you're not on speakerphone. I want to make sure everybody, I can hear him just fine, but I want to make sure you guys can all
hear him. Can you guys all hear me?
There you go. That's better. Yes, that's much better.
Yeah, I was just in the corner of I was on the corner of the patio, so I just moved over to the left. So I'm good now.
Cool. And usually the trick of the whole thing is don't have us on speakerphone and speak right into the mic, nice and loud. Project. You know how they tell you when you're in wrestling school, project your voice. The mic is probably gonna go out on you at some point. So learn to project your voice. I've heard trainers say this all the time. You gotta project. Well,
that was a hard one, man.
Yeah. What was hard? What was a hard one, Kris?
Man, like I've always been loud. Like if I was in a room, it was me talking. Especially also high school. Like I would constantly get in trouble because if somebody talked, they were
shut up, Kris Brady.
What? Right? They always knew it was me. It even happened at basic training, man. I laughed in the platoon. Somebody was doing something stupid, and I laughed. And somebody was like, "Kris, is that you that laughed?" I'm like, "Shit." And I ended up doing low calls for like 3 hours in South Carolina in the middle of July with full gear on.
That's what you get.
Like, my mouth has always got, my mouth has always got me trouble. I've always been super loud. The one thing that was super hard was promos for me.
Well, you know what, dude? You've definitely come a long way since then. And the fact that you're now able to do podcasts and carry a long conversation like this in an interview forum, to me it speaks volumes about the progression that you've made. And I know everybody's wondering, right? Like, that is a hefty nickname to give yourself. Wrestling's greatest attraction. I know you would not have given yourself that nickname, Kris, if you did not believe it. For those that are wondering, where did that nickname come from and why do you believe it?
So I was sitting down. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
Yeah. Perfect. So I was sitting around with my wife, and we were coming up with stuff to get me over in a sense of being able to work anywhere. And I didn't have a character. It was just Kris Brady. It was just me. There was nothing about me that turned me up to that level to where somebody would notice. And we're sitting around. I'm coming up with all kinds of different characters. We sit down and we're watching the movie where, now I can't think of the movie's name. He's the circus guy, and he has like the jacket and the hat, and he's singing songs the whole movie. This came out like 3 years ago.
The Greatest Showman.
Yeah, The Greatest Showman.
The Greatest Showman.
And there was a line in the movie where he said something about attraction. And I was like, maybe we can turn this up and we can do a circus character. I can come out with the suit, the long jacket, the top hat, the cane. And I was like, I don't know if I could, this early in my career, if I could take that and run with it. But I know there's so many circus characters in a sense on the indie scene. So we're sitting around. I'm like, okay, what about wrestling's greatest attraction? What if I'm just me, but turned up a notch where I'm cocky, but I'm a face, but I can do anything that you can do, but I can do it better. So when you see me, you know that you're in for a great show. You know you're in for an amazing match. and everything that I do is an attraction. So my wife definitely helped come up with that name.
Nice. Much like Stone Cold, and his former wife helped him come up with his nickname, so it only makes sense, right?
Yes.
Well, listen, Kris, I'm going to ask you a question that you're not going to get from any other podcast, because every other podcast is extremely politically correct, and I don't give a damn. I immigrated to this country first illegally and then legally. Y'all can check my green card if you want to. I don't give a damn. I ain't afraid of you. No, never mind. I'm not going to say that. I ain't afraid of you. Just go research Bernie Mac. You know what I'm saying. So here's the question I'm going to ask you.
I know
I know you know. I know you know. All right, so here's the question. I'm sure you've been called Puerto Rican. I'm sure you've been called Mexican. I'm sure people are like, is he mixed? Go ahead and just let everybody know once and for all, what is your nationality? Many people are curious. What is your heritage? Are you part Latino? I'm extremely curious, and it doesn't really matter. I love every country. I got friends from every single one. I grew up in South Florida. You name a country, I've met someone from there. I guarantee it, and I love them all. But I gotta know, bro, because people are like trying to put Kris Brady in a box, and that's not a good thing. But at the same time, bro, we're curious. We're very curious. So, go ahead. Hey, you know what, intern Timmy? Hit the breaking news drop for this one. It's going to be a good one. Hit the breaking news drop so we can find out where the hell Kris Brady is actually originally from. Hit the breaking news, Timmy. Timmy. Damn it, Timmy. Timmy's drinking on the job once.
Did it hit it?
No, I think. Go ahead, Kris.
I am Puerto Rican and Greek.
Puerto Rican and Greek? Woo! That's awesome, bro. So what side? Like, is your dad Puerto Rican and your mom Greek, or how'd that all work?
So my dad is full Puerto Rican, and then my mom is from Iraq. So she was born in Greece. And then my grandma and grandpa adopted her when my grandpa was in the Air Force, when they were stationed over there, and brought her back, man.
Dude, that is the dopest shit ever, bro. Talk about having a unique mixture of two incredible countries. And some of my best friends in the whole wide world are Boricuas. So let's hear what Matt Hardy's got to say about this.
Wonderful!
Yeah, baby. All right, well, Kris, we are nearing the end of our time here tonight, man. I was very curious. I'm sure a lot of other people were. So what we're going to do is, with the last couple of minutes we have left, we're going to get into tonight's edition of the Wrestle Talk Podcast Shoot and Shout segment. Now, I know you listen to the show every week, but in case some people are new listeners, Jonesy is going to explain to us what the Shoot and Shout segment is, and then intern Timmy is going to hit the music. Jonesy, go ahead and take it away.
Absolutely. So the Shoot and Shout segment is your opportunity to tell us whatever is irking your nerves, whether it's there's too much air in the bag of potato chips, or that intern Timmy is not doing his job, that Renee hasn't brushed his teeth today, or that Renee hasn't taken a shower in the past 2 weeks.
Yes, I have, you liar!
That makes you mad.
Anything that makes me mad.
Yep, but we got music.
Yeah.
We got intro music.
Ooh, this is going to be
So
fun.
we're going to play some music. I'm going to go first. Renee's going to go, and then by that time, you'll know exactly what we're doing, and you're going to go. So, intern Timmy, if you could please hit that Shoot and Shout music. Alright, so my Shoot and Shout is very, very simple. My Shoot and Shout has to go to the Wrestle Talk Podcast mug, because it makes your beer taste so much better. I absolutely hate IPAs, but yet somehow this damn mug makes this IPA taste like a Yingling. And I don't understand it, and it irks my nerves because I don't want to like IPA, but yet the beer mug is making me like IPA.
Jonesy, oh my gosh.
Wow.
How am I supposed to follow that?
He's shooting over here.
Dude, he's shooting for real. He is shooting for real. Well, listen, guys. I've got my shoot and shout. And it's going to be very, very short and simple. Okay? And you guys have heard me fuss and complain about this before. But I'm going to go ahead and do it once again for those people sitting way in the back on their damn cell phones that were not paying attention. Okay? And here it is. If you call yourself a professional wrestling fan, okay, and you do not go to independent shows, or you don't even go to WWE shows and you spend all your time on Twitter, especially Twitter, because Twitter's notorious, bitching and complaining about what you see, you are the problem. There is so much wrestling of every style. It doesn't matter if you love the leg slap wrestling or if you love, any other kind of wrestling. There is something for you. You're just a lazy sack of shit and you're not going out and looking for it. So please do us all a favor. Deactivate your Twitter account and go to indiewrestling.tv and find something you actually like and talk about that. There's way too many broke-ass wrestling snobs today and not enough real fans who just appreciate the sport. I'm sick and tired of it. And I deactivate our Twitter, but we got almost 2,000 followers, so that's hard to do on Twitter. You guys know. But geez, freaking Louise, Papa Cheese. I know, bro. I know. Twitter's hard. Twitter's hard. But geez, Louise, Papa Cheese, if you don't like it, change the channel, you dirty, stinking ratas. That's all I got to say about that. Kris Brady, close us out.
Man, I'm going to shoot from the hip on this one.
Bang, bang.
Social media pisses me off. You have a bunch of people who want to go on Twitter and Facebook and post shit and like other people's and stuff, and he's popular, he's not. We're all trying to make it together in indie wrestling, and people don't realize that we need likes, we need shares, we need followers, we need all that. They're so quick to share dumbass videos of stupid memes or shit that doesn't involve them, but they won't take 5 seconds to hit a like button or hit a share button that could help somebody get further in their career. That is super, super frustrating, especially when they're all, oh man, we want to see you make it, you're going to make it, you're going to be the next best thing, but you guys aren't buying my t-shirts, you guys aren't sharing me on social media, you guys aren't putting me in the right direction to build on that, and that is super frustrating. That people don't know when to shut up. They're constantly on social media bitching, and then they want to wonder why opportunities go past them, because social media is not the place to put your business out on.
Wow!
It's time to do whatever the hell you want.
That's a shout out to all 2,000 and whatever friends I have on Facebook. All y'all need to do me a favor and go click the like button and go share and follow me on Twitter. There's no damn reason why I have 2,000 friends and only 5 likes on a video piece. That's ridiculous. And I know you guys are in COVID right now, and I know everybody's in quarantine. I know you got nothing to do. So go on Facebook, go to Wrestling's Greatest Attraction, Kris Brady, go to my page, hit like, hit share, do whatever it is that you need to do to help me further in the career so you guys can see me on a bigger stage, man.
Well, I know we've already done this once today, Jonesy, but I think it's only appropriate after those 3 incredible shooting shouts. Enter Timmy, you know what to do. Woo! Love it. Well, Kris, speaking...
On a side note.
Side note, go ahead.
Everybody. I appreciate you guys. I love everybody, man. I appreciate everybody's time that has shared me on social media or about my t-shirts at shows or came out to see me perform. It means the world to me, man. Growing up, I never thought I'd be on this level. Only 2 years in, man. I've already done extra work for WWE or Ring of Honor. I've already been backstage in Impact tapings. I've got to wrestle and train out from people that I grew up idolizing, man. So it's been a fun ride so far. And I'm only 2 years in, man. I still got a lot of years left in the tank. So I'm excited to see the future and excited to see where it comes out.
Right, and you know what else you can add to your resume, Kris Brady? You can add that you are now the newest member of the Wrestle Talk family, bro. So congratulations. Do not be a stranger. We would love to have you back again before the end of 2020. And last but not least, you were going off about social media, so why don't you tell the people, the Wrestle Talk family, where they can follow you on social?
All right, man. So Twitter, WGA Kris Brady. You can follow me on Facebook. This is my normal name, Kris Brady, with a K. In case people think I'm spelled with a C. You can follow me on Instagram, KrisBrady35, and on Facebook at Wrestling's Greatest Attraction, Kris Brady. ProWrestlingTees.com/Wrestling's Greatest Attraction, Kris Brady. That's where you'll find my T-shirts at. Anybody out here that's in North Carolina, I'm going to be coming out there real soon with a new promotion called Elite Championship Wrestling, so I'm excited for that one. Hope to be back in Kansas soon. I miss all you guys. And, man, I'm just looking forward to the future, man. I'm having fun so far.
North Carolina, throw your hands up, throw your shirt off, wave around your head like a helicopter, North Carolina. Anyway, never mind. Jonesy, final thoughts for our boy, wrestling's greatest attraction, Kris Brady, man. Final thoughts.
Oh, man, just thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to come on to the podcast. You are absolutely awesome. Do not be a stranger. We will definitely have you back on again.
Always, man. Love you guys. I appreciate you guys' time.
You got it, brother. Grace and peace to you. We'll catch you down the road.
For sure, man.
All right. Jonesy, great first hour. What do you think, man?
Oh, absolutely. Freaking awesome. Amazing first hour, Kris. Was absolutely awesome. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to break, and when we come back, we're going to have the world's greatest fantasy wrestling group, the FWWC, and then if that's not enough...
10 minutes. We got...
Things are about to get real dark in the Wrestle Talk podcast, because we're bringing on Nightmare.
Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will be back in 2 minutes and 22 seconds. Peace.
10 minutes of FWWC. Dial that number, 657-383-1521. Love you guys. Why do I keep doing that? Please share this broadcast. Please. We're shooting for 30 likes. We've already got 25, and we need your help. Shout out to my man, Kurt Gannon. Shout out to Lisa, Frankie, Susie, and Chris. Last couple of people I saw on the thread. Much respect to y'all. We'll be back in just a couple moments.
Yo, what up? Night Owl, Nightmare Jones. What up, Wrestle Talk fam?
Do it for y'all. Check me out. Kick in the door, waving the 4-4. Even them haters can't hate us no more. So unlock your door, cause we got some more. Every Wednesday we here, keeping it raw. Night Owl, Nightmare Jones, and all the best guests. Like a double barrel pointed right at your chest. Wrestle, Talk, Podcast.com. Smashing and killing it like a night at a prom.
Smashing it and killing it like the night at the prom, ladies and gentlemen. Now I let the man, the myth, the legend, the Night Owl take over. Night Owl, it's all yours.
I appreciate that, Joe. I really, really do. Word out to all the general managers. I would love to see a good showing from the world's premier fantasy wrestling promotion here tonight. I got a couple people already on hold, and we're going to get through every last caller. So again, if you are a member of the FWWC or you heard something on High Spots that you liked, dial that number and we promise that we will make time for you. Again, that is 657-383-152-WIN. And our goal tonight is 30 likes. We're already up to 27 on the live feed, okay? So we've got about 40 minutes to get up to 30. Any help that you could give us by sharing, liking, hitting the heart button means the world to us. And because we want to show our appreciation, not only are we encouraging you guys to go and grab a Wrestle Talk Podcast mug, but we're also giving away some free swag. Hello. Look, guys, I got a John Cena C-Nation throwback shirt that looks like a Funko Pop, okay? It's still got the tag on it. It's about $25 right off the shelf, and it's 2XL. So, if you are listening to the show tonight and you share, we're going to be picking one person that hits that share button, and we're going to be giving this shirt away. And as you guys can see on the broadcast, okay, it's brand new. It's still got the tag on it. And so if you share the broadcast, we're going to go through that list of everyone who shared, and we're going to pick somebody to give this t-shirt away to. And if you don't like it, that's fine. I'm sure you know a wrestling fan that will appreciate it. But again, here on the Wrestle Talk Podcast, we like to make it a point to support our listeners the way that you guys support us. So if you want to win a shirt, all you got to do is hit share, and we're going to pick somebody from that list that shared to win the shirt. The other thing I wanted to say as we continue to filter through the callers from the FWWC is that our newest sponsor, I-70 Sports Media, that's Interstate 70 Sports Media on Facebook, please give them a like and tell them that the Wrestle Talk Podcast sent you. That could also serve as an entry into the t-shirt giveaway contest. I mean, we're not really asking for much. What we want you to do is share and give those guys some love. And guess what? You get a free $30 shirt. You don't have to pay for the shipping or anything. So do us a favor and show us some support by doing those two things. All that said, ladies and gentlemen, we've got about close to 10 minutes or so to talk to the world's premier fantasy wrestling promotion. And I'm not 100% sure, and I'm always a little apprehensive when people call and I don't know exactly who it is, but apparently we have music that we're going to play for this person. Okay, don't know who it is, but we have music. Real funny, intern Timmy. Why don't we go ahead and hit the music and bring this individual on? Which, again, I'm not really sure who it is. Intern Timmy, you know what to do. Hit that music.
This is a direct call from Onondaga County Justice Center for inmate 617, be Mr. Corey J. Tombstone.
Hello, hello, hello.
Corey Tombstone? Corey?
Orale. What's up, family? How you doing?
Bro, did you just call us from a prison?
Yeah, well, you wonder why I've been missing, man.
I actually did not wonder that at all. Not even once, but whatever.
Well, regardless, man, I'm calling for a favor. I know Ratas is listening. I know he's paying attention. So listen, Ratas, I need you to get me out of here. I've got another 6 days. I need to be out.
Well,
I don't have a lot of time. I don't have a lot to explain to you, but this has got to happen now.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, Corey Tombstone, El Mata definitely listens to this show. But, sir, you're on with the Night Owl, and I've got some questions for you. Where the hell are you Where have you been? You disappeared from the FWWC. I know you La Familia guys like to keep this code of secrecy. It's so freaking annoying. Where the hell have you been, and why are you there?
Listen, man, I can't explain nothing to you. You know, you're not a part of the family, so I can't sit there. I can't exchange that kind of information to you. But what I can tell you is I do family favors, and I make sure I always collect. When somebody has owed me something, I make sure I come back for it.
Oh, geez, Louise. Well, I'm pretty sure this is all bad business. And you know what, Corey Tombstone? I'm going to say this. When you were in the FWWC previously, you were a tremendous competitor. You always moved the needle. And if you are going to eventually make a return to the FWWC, I'm excited to see you come back as long as you're willing to operate within the rules, unlike the rest of your brothers over in La Familia Worldwide. Because honestly, I'm sick of those guys.
We run the game. We're the ones that make these rules. We're the ones that make and decide on everything, not you guys. We're the family. We are the ones that make these decisions.
Oh, get out of here. Happen. Get out of here with that. Cut it out. Cut it out. Stop it. Well, Tombstone, here's what I'm going to say.
As far as my return is concerned, I promise you right now, I will always be with the family.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, calling from where are you calling from? From what penitentiary?
I'm Oswego. I'm up in Syracuse, New York.
Syracuse, okay. Northern, okay. Well, I heard that one's kind of rugged. All right, well, we talk about Leavenworth today. Now we're talking about New York prison. I mean, what the hell is this all about? Oh, my gosh. All right, well, Tombstone, any final thoughts for the members of the FWWC?
I hope you all have bulletproof heads, because I'm coming for headshots.
Wow, my goodness. Woo! Well, you know what? We have a general manager on the line, but there's somebody that I want to hear from concerning this topic. Nightmare Jones, I know you, and I remember this very vividly. Yeah. You were one of the guys that was pretty upset when some of the things happened with Corey Tombstone previously. Now we're getting some breaking news that he may be coming back. Can you try to take us inside the mind of El Mata and whether or not you think he'll help get Corey Tombstone out of prison and bring him back to the FWC? He can't be that out of his mind, can he?
Look, Corey Tombstone is La Familia. La Familia is family. You're always family when you join La Familia. We're not like Saviors of Funk. We're not just a group. We are a family. So, yes, I'm sure that El Mata is going to do everything that he possibly can to get Corey out of this prison. You know, he's done his time. He did what he needed to do for the family, and now it's time for him to come back home.
Well, here's all I want to know. And I know this is going to be a little inappropriate, but how many times did Corey Tombstone have to give up his honey buns to be able to call into the show tonight? Okay. All right, I'm having too much fun. Well, Nightmare Jones, I appreciate that. And I'm sorry, La Familia is just all over the place, man. And at this point, I can't even get mad anymore. I just kind of laugh. What about you, Nightmare Jones? You've had a lot to say recently considering some of the drama in the FWWC. Is there anything you'd like to address before we move on to Hardcore Sis?
Listen, here's the thing. In the FWWC, there are certain things that we do. Number one, you don't attack somebody without telling them. You don't be insubordinate. And, you know, it's just, you know what? I don't have anything to say about it. So, you know what? Just bring on.
What a surprise. Whatever. What a surprise. Nothing. Just absolutely no detail, no real explanations. You know, if there's one member, well, actually, there's a couple. Maybe, you know, Robert, he's kind of like honest and forthright. Big Papa Kurt, he'll deal to a certain extent. But if there's one person that we know is going to give it to us straight, it is the one and only general manager of the Inferno brand, and that is Hardcore Sis. the baddest chick to ever come out of the great state of Virginia. Hardcore Sis, you're on the line right now, and you're the only general manager to call in, which I tip my cap to you for that, okay? But clearly, you've got a message that you want to deliver, and the floor is yours.
Well, you were just asking Nightmare, about the drama that happened this week. First of all, let me make something perfectly clear, okay? This person that we are referring to was not suspended because she turned on me. That had nothing to do with it. The reason she was suspended was her insubordination and her lack of respect for not just myself, but the BOD as well. Walking into the back room stating that you will do what you want, when you want, and how you want, and you don't care what the general manager has to say, is not the way we do things around here. We are general managers for reasons, okay? We have certain authorities and certain powers that, while some may think we abuse them, we try to do what is best for the group as a whole, not just for one person. And, it kind of reminds me of something I once saw on Star Trek. Mr. Spock once said, the needs of the many outweigh that of the few. And that's the way it has to be around here. And if people can't conform to that, then they need a chill off period and need to be put in the corner.
Wow. Okay, well, Hardcore Sis, I have one last question for you. We're waiting for Thursday's brand battle score update for week 3, round 3. We know that the Rise brand was able to capitalize on the poster contest and earn themselves an extra point, probably expanding their lead to a certain extent from what we saw from week 2. How optimistic are you, not just about this particular round or week, but about the brand battle going on in the FWWC overall?
Well, the current reigning champions of that brand battle right now is the Inferno brand. We always bring the heat. That's what our brand does. That's who we are. My brand, some people say that I'm tough. Some people say, might even say I'm a little militant, but the guys on my team, they respect what I do, and they respect me, and they back me, and we do what we have to do to win. Now, are we going to win this week's brand battle scores? Knowing that Heel Deal has that extra point, it's very likely that a tie won't be happening. Heel Deal could come out a point ahead. Will we tie with Infinite? Maybe, maybe not. Because of this week's drama, it could have cost us a point or two. There's always that give and take. You just never know what's really going to happen until it happens. But regardless of whether we win this round, we lose this round, whatever it is, it's only one battle in the war. It's not the war. And my team will always, excuse the pun, rise to the occasion, and we will always come out fighting, and we will burn it down, because that's what we do.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, your closing thoughts for the FWWC segment coming from the general manager of the Inferno brand, Hardcore Sis, which, by the way, already has scored a victory in the brand battle. They won round 1. So thank you, everybody from the FWWC, the world's premier fantasy wrestling promotion. We always cut about 10 or 15 minutes of every show to support those guys. Why? Because they always support us. If you've always wanted to be a professional wrestler like Nightmare or Kris Brady, but for financial or physical or circumstantial reasons you can't be, the FWWC, the World Wrestling Worldwide Chapter, is a great alternative. We compete every week on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, making picks during Raw, NXT, AEW, and SmackDown. Also, we compete during pay-per-views doing live picks. There's not some E-Fed god writing out all the stories based on your promos. You promo, you get in a match, you have a match, you compete. If your knowledge and your picks are better than the other guys, you win. If you win enough, you become champion. And we got some badass belts in the group, ladies and gentlemen. If you have not seen our Warriors Heart Championship, do yourself a favor and go over to WrestleTalkPodcast.com/fantasy wrestling. Go down, hit the Facebook link, request to be a part of the group, and just take a look at the excellence that is the Warriors Heart Championship. And not only that, not only is that one of like the full-size, like 5 to 7 pound belts, we also have the World Championship, which is full-sized, and we have the Hardcore Championship, which is full-size. There's no E-Fed in the world that's doing what we're doing. That's why we don't call ourselves an E-Fed, folks. We are the world's premier fantasy wrestling promotion, period. Visit WrestleTalkPodcast.com for more information on that. And once again, big shout out to Roth Bums Engraving, who does all of our custom mugs, $20 with your name engraved, plus shipping. We'll get it out to you in less than about 30 days or so from start to finish. Help support the Wrestle Talk Podcast by picking up a mug, once again, over at WrestleTalkPodcast.com. With all that said, it is time for our second featured guest of the evening. Jonesy, come on back in here, man. Tell intern Timmy to get that music ready, because I want you to once again give us a wonderful introduction for our featured guest of the second hour. I'm very, very excited to talk to Nightmare, man. Let's go ahead and kick it off.
Sure. Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, allow us to introduce our next guest of the night. This gentleman is a member of the Covenant with Father Craven. He is a wrestler that has blended many, many styles of professional wrestling, just so that his opponents never know what's going to hit him. If you're lucky, he won't hit you with his Headless Horseman move. And let me tell you, this gentleman is an amazing competitor. Ladies and gentlemen, it's our pleasure to bring in the one and only Nightmare.
Let's go!
What's going on, Nightmare? How's it going, sir?
Hey, first of all, I've got to direct something to you personally. I am the one true Nightmare in the wrestling business. To think that you are calling yourself Nightmare Jones, that is strict gimmick infringement. I am going to be talking to my lawyers and everybody, my congressman, everything I need to do to get you to stop calling yourself that name and make people stop thinking that you're somebody as great as me.
Let the man finish, Nightmare Jones.
Nightmare.
Let the man finish.
You are the Nightmare. So you are the
really
Nightmare.
Think that you can get away with calling yourself Nightmare?
What's wrong with you, Joe?
Nothing like me.
All right, so you are the Nightmare of professional wrestling. I am the Nightmare of the FWWC. And you can ask Renee Martinez himself. Renee, does the name Nightmare fit me or not?
Well, listen, all I can say
you might be a nightmare to the sheep, which it's very nice that you took time out of your date night with your favorite sheep to be with us, you little hillbilly hog humper.
Oh, my God!
Nice
What?
To be with us for this nice interview. Just remember, no means no.
Oh, my God.
Joe! Oh, my gosh, bro! I can't believe this. I cannot believe what I'm hearing right now. And really, it beckons me, before we continue this interview, to hit you guys with just one more drop.
Got him! Got him!
All right, gentlemen, to your corners. To your corners. Joe, why don't you go ahead and get yourself some Gatorade so you're ready to step back in the ring with Nightmare. I'm going to go ahead and lead this thing off, man, because I've been very, very excited to talk to Nightmare. Nightmare, I had an opportunity to see a couple of your matches. You were working in a tag match just a couple of months ago, and I have to say I was very, very impressed, man. You came out, you intimidated, and you handled your business inside the squared circle. That said, you happen to be a part of, I wouldn't even call it a faction, it's more like a collective of individuals who think the same way that you do. And you guys are quite regularly intimidating fans and scaring people. You and that Father Craven, who seems to feel like he's not getting the respect that he deserves. And I think that you kind of feel the same way. So why don't you talk to us a little bit about the Covenant, okay? You, Omen, Rock, and of course the aforementioned Father Craven. What is the Omen all about, and what are you guys looking to accomplish?
See, what we're trying to do is we're trying to bring everybody into the era of enlightenment. We are going to be awakening them to a new reality. See, before I met Father Craven, I was lost in the world, searching for answers, trying to find a way to kill the world's cancers in the wrestling world. And then he found me, and he said, "Take my hand, I will lead you to the promised land." And I did that, and that is exactly what he is doing for me. And we are taking every Northeast wrestling promotion by storm. It doesn't matter who we wrestle, we are just always going to be coming out on top. There is nobody that can match up to us. We are your paragons of virtue, we are your beacons of truth, and we are your pillars of faith, all rolled into one. Me and my partner Rockshaw, we've all been together for a very long time. The last piece, it was Father Craven, and we are going to new heights in the wrestling business. You just watch.
Well, I have no doubt about it. You guys continue to prove it, including over at New Evolution Wrestling. But before I continue down that road, I want to take a step back and get a little personal. So, we know about your involvements with the Omen. We know the damage that you're inflicting upon all your opponents up in the Northeast. But from what I understand in doing my research, you hail from the great state of New York. And here on the Wrestle Talk podcast, you do, I know you do. So here on the Wrestle Talk podcast, Nightmare, we've actually been touring the United States and talking to a representative from each of the 50 states. A little bit earlier on in the first hour, we had Kris Brady, and he's repping the great state of Washington, which is clearly all the way across this great country. And now we're talking to you from New York. So let's hit on that point for just a moment. Being from New York, expectations are always high. You knew that you were going into a professional wrestling hotbed from the moment that you decided to step in the ring for the very first time. Talk to us. What led to you wanting to be a part of wrestling for the first time? And have you found it an advantage or a disadvantage to be from New York?
Well, for me, wrestling is the only thing I ever wanted to do in my life. When other kids wanted to be doctors and lawyers and wrestlers, I wanted to be the wrestler. You know, I was the only one when I was a kid, and I was pretty small when I was a kid.
All right.
And I didn't become the size I am till much later, and it was very hard for people to envision what I saw myself to be. But I made that happen. It took me many years to do so, but I have made myself one of the top stars in the Northeast circuit. And I will continue to take my talent anywhere that I feel I need to go to teach people a lesson on what a real wrestler is supposed to be.
Whoa, absolutely love to hear that. So, speak to us a little bit about that New York influence. Where did you originally begin your training, and who did you work with?
Well, I originally got trained by a couple local indie guys. I got into the wrestling business. I had wanted to be in part of the business for a very long time, but I didn't really know the best avenue to go about it. And by luck, I got lucky to have met a couple indie guys when I was working at a gas station. And every time I would see the guy, I would break his balls to try and train me and find out how to get in and what I needed to do. And they didn't take me seriously for a couple of months until they realized I was not going away. And at that point, that's when they agreed to train me. And another great moment in my life that I consider a turning point in my life is when I was a little boy, about 12 years old, I went to my very first wrestling show. It was an indie show for UWS in New York, in Canarsie, Brooklyn. I still even remember where it was. It was a Holy Family Church. And one of the guys that is in New Evolution Wrestling with me, a guy by the name of Bill Pierce was on that show. He was doing a gimmick called Chris USA Michaels. And I had snuck into the locker room. And I was a small kid, and I wanted to ask everybody what I needed to do. And nobody would talk to me. They just, hey, get out of here, kid. We don't want you here. He was the only one to actually talk to me and tell me what I needed to do. And, of course, I couldn't use that till years later. But all that stuff stuck with me. And he's a big reason I am in the wrestling business today, because of everything he said to a 12-year-old boy all those years ago. And that's many years ago. I'm 41 years old now. So you can imagine how it was for somebody like him to be talking to a kid that he didn't need to be talking to at all. And he took that time, and he brought me into this world.
Wow, dude, that's so incredible. And you know what? You're going to be caught a little off guard by this question, but before I throw it over to Joe, I always got to ask this question for people that are from New York. Here it is. The Knicks or the Nets? Who do you got? Who's your team?
Well, I'm not even a basketball fan, to tell you the truth. I pretty much like all other sports, but basketball is not something I ever really got into. I played it a lot as a kid, but
all right, that's
I was
fair.
A short white kid, and I couldn't shoot worth the damn. So,
white man can't jump. All right, that's
I
fair.
pretty much sucked at basketball, so I moved on to other sports.
All right, so
I'm
Giants or Jets?
People around.
Same question. Giants or Jets?
I'm a Cincinnati Bengals fan, actually.
What?
You figured that one out. Yeah.
Why would you do that to yourself?
I learned to lose from an early age.
Why would you do that to yourself?
One man, Boomer Esiason.
Ah, yes.
When I was a kid, the Bengals were still very good. They had gone to the Super Bowl twice, and they still had the coolest helmet in the league.
True.
And I just became a Bengals fan because they were always on TV, and I've stuck with them my entire life. And I'm a huge Bengals fan. Every time I get an opportunity, I'm watching a Bengals game, even if it's an old game. And it's just who I like.
That's cool. Well, I had to ask the question, man. Anybody from New York? I know sports, it kind of runs in your veins. If it's not basketball, it's definitely football, man. I appreciate you being honest about that. Well, Jonesy, now that you've had some time to cool off, shout out to my man King checking in. Casey's in the building. What's up, man? We love you, bro. Thank you for being here. Can't wait to see you back in the ring very, very soon. But, Joe, why don't you jump back in here, man? Nightmare's got some great, great stuff that he wants to share with us. And all you got to do is ask the questions, man. Go ahead and take it away.
I do. I do. So I've been onto your Facebook, and I saw a post, and it kind of struck me. It says, it's about a guy by the name of Mr. Poppintrist. Can you tell the viewers who exactly Mr. Poppintrist is?
Yeah, tell us.
Mr. Poppintrist is a exceptional balloon artist. And he's a great friend of mine. He's somebody I met in the wrestling business, and he's become a great family friend. And he has made me as a balloon character twice now.
What?
And I love his work, and I will continue to share it. He comes to wrestling shows and makes great things for the other wrestlers. When I was running my wrestling promotion, Predator Pro Wrestling, a few years ago, he came down. He made the big logo in balloons and everything. He's just an all-around great guy.
That's awesome.
I can't say enough good things about him and his talent.
See, anybody that supports professional wrestling, we're going to mention them on the Wrestle Talk podcast. So,
yes, we are.
Mr. Poppintrist, you've just been mentioned on the Wrestle Talk podcast.
Yes.
I'll be very happy to know that his name is getting out there even more. His family are great wrestling fans as he is. He's been a lifelong wrestling fan. He's definitely one of my very close friends in this business.
Awesome. So your wrestling style is a mixture of many different styles. Is there a reason why you didn't just pick one style, why you decided to mix up the different styles of professional wrestling?
Well, it's because you never get one style with every opponent. You've got to be prepared and ready for anything that anybody could throw at you. Some people are technical wrestlers. Some are high flyers. Some are brawlers. But the one thing that's certain, no matter what style they are, when they get in the ring with Nightmare, they're just another loser.
Woo! I like the confidence.
There you go. See, and you know, having a mixture of many styles allows your opponents to never know what's going to hit them because they never know what style you're going to be using. That's really a smart idea. I think that a lot of wrestlers should use that, different styles. So you've been in the wrestling business for quite some time. How have you seen the wrestling business change throughout your years of professional wrestling?
Good question.
Well, I think a lot of the change has been with the younger generation. I've seen there's not as much respect. Like when I broke in, you had to earn everything you got from the veterans.
Mm-hmm.
And if you had a bad attitude, they straightened it out really quick. Unfortunately, with the social media age, people think that it's okay to be disrespectful and not get smacked around for it. But it doesn't really work like that in a wrestling locker room. We still police our own. And anybody that has the wrong attitude, we are going to stretch them out, and we are going to teach them everything they need to know about the reasons they're allowed in that locker room. And we've thrown people out of that locker room. There have been people that have been brought in that have only made one show, and because of their attitude, were never allowed in again. There is a kind of pecking order, so to speak. And if you are not going to accept that, you're not going to be around very long. Veterans have earned respect, and they should always have that. And rookies sometimes need to learn to have that respect.
Well said.
Could not agree more. Very, very, very well said. My last question before I throw it back to Renee is one of your moves that you have is, it's a very, very scary name for a move. It's called the Headless Horseman. What the heck is the Headless Horseman, and why are you giving people the Headless Horseman?
Sounds sick.
Oh, why would we give them the Headless Horseman? That's easy. To beat them into submission. The way the Headless Horseman works is a tag team maneuver that we often use for our finish. We'll have the Omen Rockshaw get the man up in a power bomb, face with the man facing our corner. Then I'll tag myself in, and I'll go to the top rope, and I will hit him with a neck breaker as he's bringing him down with the power bomb. There is nobody that stands a chance when we hit him with the Headless Horseman. Nobody is getting up from that. Doesn't matter who you are.
That sounds absolutely terrifying, and I hope to never have to experience the Headless Horseman. I'm getting kind of scared, Renee, so the floor is yours.
I appreciate that. Well, here's a question, especially when it's the very first time that we're talking to a guest that we typically want to ask. People are always curious about character development. So can you tell us a little bit about how Nightmare came about? Where was the idea born, and how have you accentuated it over the years?
Well, it was born kind of out of necessity. I wanted to be relatable. The original people that I was working for, they told me I was coming in as a heel. So I wanted to be relatable to them and to everybody in the stands. And I figured, how am I going to do that? I wanted to find something that I had in common and work off of that. So I figured everybody at some point has nightmares. I've had them. You've had them. Everybody does. So I wanted to have some kind of common ground with them and build off of that. I really didn't think I'd be Nightmare for this long. I thought I was going to have it for a little while, then I'd get a real name. I really expected...
If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
To get a different name, and I've evolved the gimmick in many ways. Sometimes, at one time, I had a trench coat. Now I've got a spiked mask that I come out to the ring.
I like that.
Really has gotten over. I never expected it to get over as much as it did. I've added face paint to the gimmick. Sometimes I come out without it. People never know what they're going to get when they have Nightmare on a show. Is he going to come out with the spiked mask? Is he going to have the face paint? Is he going to go without the face paint? They have all kinds of questions, and they're just waiting to see how I'm going to come out and what I'm going to do to people.
Dude, that's really, really awesome. And I'll tell you what, sometimes in this business, you don't know kind of where you fit. or where you're going to fall in. And I think it can be very difficult, especially with the fact that we all kind of have egos, to just go with the flow. And clearly, you were smart enough to recognize, hey, this is working. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, like I said a little bit earlier. So congratulations to you for being mature enough to recognize, hey, this thing's working for me. I'm not going to overthink it. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to keep this thing rolling. So kudos to you for that. The other thing I wanted to say is,
Thank you.
No problem. It's an honor. The other thing I wanted to ask you was this. You've been in the business for a while now, and I keep hearing over and over, in the professional wrestling world, you're never done learning. And I'm sure you subscribe to that as well. So with that said, let me ask you this question. What do you do these days, or what have you done through the quarantine to try to keep your blade sharp? What have you done to keep yourself ready to go during the lockdown? I'm very curious because everybody's got a little bit of a different answer.
Well, for me, I'm always ready. I've got a gym in my house, so I keep in shape over here. I actually have a lot of different ways that I can keep my mind focused and sharp. I watched a lot of old wrestling to try and learn from the greats of this business.
Okay.
And I watch hours and hours and hours of old tape. I try to be a student of the game, and I try to learn from everything that I can see. Sometimes it's what to do, sometimes it's what not to do. You never really know until you're putting it into practice, unless it's something very obvious. You can see, okay, this didn't work. I read the crowd a lot when I'm out wrestling,
Awesome.
And I try and use them as my little yardstick of what I'm going to do or not do. And I try and think of everything that I can incorporate when I go out for my next match. Right now, with this lockdown, I don't know when that's going to be.
Okay.
And it's incredibly frustrating to me because I'm used to being out there all the time. I don't know really what to do with myself when I don't get the opportunity to wrestle.
So are you an every weekend guy?
How much longer?
Are you, Nightmare? Are you an every weekend guy? Like, is your regular schedule like every weekend, a couple of days out of the week, or are you more of a once a month? I imagine you keep yourself pretty busy.
Well, I don't have as many bookings as I used to because I'm getting a little older.
Okay.
And it's getting to be more for the young kids. I don't know how much time I've got left in the tank. You know, I didn't think I was going to be wrestling this long, to tell you the truth.
Okay.
I really thought I was going to be a wrestler that had a few matches, got hurt, and faded out. And the truth of the matter is, what happened with me early in my career is I did get hurt. I had a very catastrophic injury.
Sorry.
I tore my hamstring off the bone completely.
Ooh.
And it was during a match. And
Damn.
it was about the 3 or 4 minute mark, and I had another 12 to go. And I couldn't even stand, let alone walk. And I still finished that match. And it gave me a work ethic to keep going and if I wanted to live my dream, I had to keep going no matter what was thrown into my path. And I've used that as fuel over the years. So I try to always never overlook an opponent or any situation and try and be ready for anything that might come my way, no matter if it's good or bad.
And that is awesome. And I hope the greenhorns that listen to the show on a regular basis are heeding that information. I really, really do. And as I transition back to Jonesy, I just wanted to remind everyone very quickly of a couple of things. Number one, Interstate 70 Sports Media, our newest sponsor. Make sure you guys give them a like and tell them the Wrestle Talk podcast sent you. Also, if you share this episode or broadcast, we're going to be on the lookout for that. We are giving away some swag, as you guys can see here on the video. We got a brand new, with the tag, WWEC Nation t-shirt that we're going to be giving away. And as a matter of fact, if you guys find Nightmare on social media and you give him a like, you are eligible to win the t-shirt as well. So, and if you need to know how to get there, hang on to the end of the interview and he's going to drop all his social media for you right here on episode 301 of the Wrestle Talk podcast. Jonesy, I'm going to go ahead and throw it back to you because I know you had at least one last question for Nightmare, and I want to give you the opportunity to do that, bro. Why don't you go ahead?
I do. I have one final question. So you are a member of the Covenant, and what I would like to know, and probably a lot of other people would like to know, is are we ever going to see the Covenant branch out to other promotions instead of just one promotion? Have the Covenant in multiple promotions?
That would be fresh.
Absolutely. We are always looking for new opportunities and new places to wrestle, to bring our little faction over to you. And we want to wrestle everywhere. And we want to wrestle anywhere. And we will go any destination you want to bring us in, and we will go there. And we will teach the world what it means to be a member of the Covenant. And we will show you all that we have in our arsenals. We will teach you that there is no way but the Covenant way.
Wow, Jonesy, great question. I'm going to jump back in here. By the way, thanks again, Kris Brady. Great interview during the first hour, man. We hope to have you back on very, very soon. So here is my final question to you, Nightmare, and it's a loaded one. Everybody's got a road story. And I know some of them, you know, there's a code of ethics when you're a pro wrestling superstar such as yourself. Some things you can share, some things you can't share. But we know that if you dig down deep enough, you can give us something to remember here on episode 301 of the Wrestle Talk podcast. So in your career, have you shared a locker room or shared a car with maybe somebody that the rest of the Wrestle Talk family is familiar with? Maybe some legend of the past or what have you? You have any cool stories, funny stories particularly, that you can tell us from your experiences after being in this business for a couple of years now, man? Anything awesome you can share with us here as we work to close out 301?
All right, I'm going to give you two interesting stories involving big names.
Let's do it.
The first one is going to involve Demolition. Now, Demolition, I got a chance to work them in 2013.
Sweet.
And the way I'm going to tell this story, it involves my wife.
Okay.
My wife and I had just started dating. We were dating maybe 2 weeks, and she wasn't so sure about me being a wrestler. You know, she thought I was full of shit. That's really the truth. So she thought that okay, yeah, he's gonna say he's a wrestler. He's really not. Well, the first show she ever goes to, I'm wrestling Demolition, and that day she realized, okay, he really is a real professional wrestler. And we were married for 7 years. We just actually had our 7-year wedding anniversary the other day.
Hey!
So,
that's awesome, man. Congratulations.
A beautiful little daughter with her.
Awesome.
Who is known as Baby Nightmare at the shows. She sits at my merch table, and she brings everybody over with her cuteness. Best move I ever made as a wrestler was putting my daughter at my merch table.
That's a good gimmick.
To see the cute little kid.
That's a good gimmick.
Said, oh, look at that t-shirts and stuff like that.
Awesome.
The second story I have for you is about a big mistake I made.
Okay.
And I was a rookie. I got brought down to Florida for USA Pro Wrestling, and I think they were called UXW at that time.
Okay.
And I got to work a segment with Raven, who is one of the nicest people I have ever met in the entire business. I have learned so much from that man. He's truly generous with his time and talent, and if you ask him something, he will tell you honestly. If it sucks, he's going to tell you. If it's great, he's going to tell you. He's going to tell you ways to improve. He's just an awesome, awesome guy. Well, I had Kevin Sullivan as my manager, so I'm thinking, hey, I'm...
Whoa. Hey, wait a minute. Nightmare, you got to relax. You got to relax. So how are you just going to throw Kevin Sullivan, just low-key, oh, yeah, I had Kevin Sullivan as my man. Which, by the way, one of the best interviews we've ever had was Kevin Sullivan. Shout out to Kevin Sullivan, longtime member of the
Wrestle. Great guy.
Longtime member of the Wrestle Talk family. And we just hit 30 likes on the Facebook live feed. We love you guys. Mwah! Big kiss. But no, you can't just slide Kevin Sullivan in there and just keep it moving like you're on a jog. Kevin Sullivan, dude, that's a huge deal. Nightmare? Oh no! Guys, I just got disconnected. That's it. Oh my gosh, no way. Oh, Facebook Live, you're with me. I'm suffering right now. How? How did I just got disconnected? I'm missing the Kevin Sullivan story. All right, it's all right, gang. Hang tight. I got a way to connect this back. I'm so sorry, everyone. I apologize. Oh, dear gosh, no. Play some music for y'all real quick. Just hold on, hon. We're going to get you guys back on there. We're going to get it hooked up. We will prevail. Overtime. Technology. We need a radio station. I mean, seriously. Kevin Sullivan, best seminars. See, that's what I'm saying. I'm missing the Kevin Sullivan story. Damn it. Oh, Jonesy, answer, please. I want to hear the Kevin Sullivan story.
Hey, you reached Joe. Unfortunately, I'm unable to get to the phone.
Well, guys, this is incredibly depressing. I'm trying to reconnect with Jonesy so that so us on Facebook Live can get the Kevin Sullivan story. But listen, don't worry. Don't worry. If we can't reconnect, WrestleTalkPodcast.com, the podcast version of the show.
What's up, man?
I'm back, bro. Hey, everybody on Facebook Live is mad. We're missing the Kevin Sullivan story. Can we please get the Kevin Sullivan story? I'm begging you, Jonesy. Hook me in.
Completely forgot. Like I said, for me, it's a career highlight. For him, it's just another day at the office. It wasn't something he was going to remember. And we got to talking about it, and we started laughing about it, and him and I have been very cool about it and everything else to this day. And he's been a very good guy and very helpful to my wrestling career, all because of a big mistake.
Wow.
Jonesy,
yes.
You got to do me a favor. We lost connection throughout that story. So, and I hate to ask him to do this again, but Nightmare, we lost you. We got a lot of people on the Facebook Live that didn't get to hear that story, man. Do us a favor, just, if you can, summarize that Kevin Sullivan story before you move on, bro, because that's a big deal, and I want to make sure that everybody on all of our platforms gets to hear it, man. If you would please do me that favor.
Yeah, that's no problem. I can give that to you again.
Nice.
When I got to do with the show in Florida for UXW.
Okay.
I had Kevin, my manager. I was going to be working with a segment with Raven. I thought I was starting to hit the big time, you know, and we started going through the match. There's a spot where I'm kicking him in the head, and I hear him say stiff. So I think he's the ECW guy. He wanted stiff. I'm going to give him stiff. So I start wearing him out with my boot. And then I start kicking him in the head, and we finish the segment. He hits me with the even flow. We go home. I think everything's good. Crowd was really into it. We get back to the locker room. Everybody in there thought it was really good. And then Raven comes back in, and he says, well, he was really, really pissed. He says, hey, what do I owe you money? And I thought he was joking around. I really thought that he was trying to be funny. And that just pissed him off more because he thought I was being disrespectful to him. I really was not intending to be. But he realized that it was a rookie mistake because I realized, oh, shit, that I shouldn't have done that. And basically, we ended up talking about it, and it became a very big rookie mistake for me, but I got through it. I didn't see him again for about a year, and I almost pulled off the show because of that, because I didn't really want to face him. I didn't think it was going to be too good for me. But he had forgotten about the thing. The first thing I did when I saw him was apologize to him for the incident in Orlando, and he had completely forgotten about it, so I explained it.
Your recording has reached the maximum length. To replay your message, press 1. To delete and re-record your message, press
Guys, I cannot tell you what an absolute thrill it has been so far to speak to Nightmare. And this episode, to me, is going to go down in history for a very, very long time. Joe's going to go ahead and wrap it up for us. We're still having connection issues. But to be able to close out with a Raven and Kevin Sullivan story is just incredibly special. And you know what, guys? We're going to get the technology figured out. We're essentially trying to run a radio show in a podcast format, which is something nobody else in the whole wide world is doing. So I appreciate you guys bearing with us. I'm going to try to reconnect one more time. If not, it's all good. I'm very, very happy with what's already transpired tonight. And I want to thank you guys that have stuck with us. There has been at least 3 people that have been here from start to finish. So, and
we're having technical difficulties. Night Owl, you with us again?
I am back, bro, and I don't know why the phone call disconnected. I was just apologizing to all the people that are watching live. Listen, why don't we go ahead and do this, Jonesy? We got to respect Nightmare's time, and I don't want to continue to give people a subpar product with all the connection issues, so just allow me to say this. Nightmare, thank you so much for making time for us, for being transparent, for being dedicated to this craft. I can tell you've sacrificed a lot to get to the point where you are in your career, man, and I am looking forward to seeing everything open back up and you get back in the squared circle. Please give my regards to Rock. Give my regards to Father Craven. You guys are doing great, great work up in the Eastern Panhandle, man, and I really do wish you guys continued success. Welcome as the newest member of the Wrestle Talk family, and I really do hope that we get to talk to you again once again down the road, brother. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Much respect. Jonesy, why don't you go ahead and close it out, man?
Yes, sir. Like I said, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to come on to the podcast. The last thing that we need you to do is promise that you'll come back onto the podcast and tell everybody how they can get a hold of you on social media.
All right. It'll be my pleasure and yours for me to come on to your podcast again.
Mm-hmm. It was.
Go to Pro Wrestler Nightmare, all one word. And that's my fan page. And you can see it in the Nightmare Naked. If you have Instagram, you can go to pro_wrestler_nightmare. If you would like to book me, you can book me at ringwarrior22@gmail.com. And before we go, you can see me and all the other New Evolution Wrestling superstars at the big event 19, November 14th from 10 to 2 at the LaGuardia Hotel in East Elmhurst, New York. It is the biggest wrestling convention autograph show in New York, and we will have guys like Gene Snitsky, Cowboy James Storm, Zicky Dice, Rosa Negra. We will have the new Pitbulls, Gary Wolf and Rage and Chaos, and joining Father Craven and I at the Covenant table will be Mil Muertos.
Mil Muertes. That is legendary, bro. Love that. That's awesome.
That's really, really awesome. Yes, sir.
So everybody, make sure that we see you at the big event 19.
Awesome. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. That was Nightmare. Sylvie, thank you for coming on. It has been our honor. It has been our privilege. We can't wait to have you back on. Again, any final thoughts, Renee, before we close this thing out?
Yeah, man, I just want to say that, we made it to episode 300. That was a huge milestone. And then we come back the next week and we replicate the same activity and viewership that we had for our 300th episode on 301. And that doesn't speak so much to you and I, Joe. That speaks to all the wonderful people that support us and all the wonderful guys and girls that make time to come on the show to be interviewed. So thank you, Kris Brady, the great state of Washington. Thank you, Nightmare, the great state of New York. The tour of the 50 states continues next week for episode 302 of the Wrestle Talk podcast. Big shout out to everybody, especially my wife who actually even tuned into the show today. I'm humbled and I'm appreciative for every last person. Thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. And remember, love each other. That is the solution to everything.
Absolutely. 100%. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go ahead and end this. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and end this with the song that everybody knows. Hopefully we don't get flagged.
No, don't you play a song that's going to get us flagged. Don't you do it, Nightmare. I'm not letting you do it.
All right.
You can't get flagged. But I'm sure you can find something. We'll be back next week, y'all. Tom Simon is in the house, baby. We're going to Tennessee. Let's go. Peace.
Peace.
And Tom Simon and Matthew. No, Arkansas is in the house and Utah's in the house next week. Matthew Robles of Utah and Tom Simon of Arkansas. USA Championship Wrestling. Intern Timmy, hit the music. And the rest of y'all, hit the share button, baby. We out. Peace. Turn it up, fam. Fam, hit the music, fam. No, I'm just playing. Love y'all, man. Have a good night. Peace. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. That's going to do for episode number 302 of the Wrestle Talk podcast. Guys, thank you so very, 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 very much for supporting all of us here on the Wrestle Talk podcast. I got to be honest with you. These shows are hard because we don't ever really know how the connection is going to be or anything like that. And it's very, very frustrating because, like I said earlier, we truly are trying to run what you would say is a radio show on a podcast platform. And it's been very, very difficult. But one day, we're going to have the equipment that we need to make this 100% official. And we know that each and every one of you will be there. And we're going to continue to give stuff away just because you guys show up. So again, we're going to be choosing someone that shared today's episode to give you this like $30, actually halfway decent Funko Pop WWE C Nation t-shirt. And we're going to continue to do that. And if you're feeling generous, please do us a favor and go over to WrestleTalkPodcast.com and start customizing your very own Wrestle Talk Podcast mug. We're going to leave you here on the Facebook Live feed with a new song from our brother, Vinsanity. That's VIN5ANIT. That's right, I'm talking about Vinsanity, and it's called Heaven's Demons. Let's go, baby. We gone. Get you a mug. You heard me. Shoot all your shots and we still won't come down. Some movies, some rides, yeah, they call us out. We my homies, we some kings, and our table is round. Woo! To the top, there's a chance we might drown with the dark. Heaven's Demons, baby. VIN, the number 5, ANITY. Vinsanity, baby. Heaven's Demon. The hottest in the city, time and space. Shout out to the FWWC, my partner Dewan, my man Money Man Mills, my brother from another, Marcus Mayhem, Hardcore Sis, SOF, what up? I see you, baby. Much love to you, Daniel Grimm, what's up? Shout out to Bishop. Shout out to Madman Joe. Backlash, baby. FWWC Backlash will be off the easy. KCXW, streaming service. Y'all peep them out. XW will be back very, very soon. I promise you that. In September, MEW is back. Check for your local independent promotion. Stop playing if you're a wrestling fan. Go and support your independent promotions, man. Get out of here if you ain't doing it. If you ain't doing it, you can sit down.
You can shoot all your shots. We still won't come down. We some wolves, we some rods. Yeah, they call us out. By all means, we some kings, and our table is round. Wanna float to the top? There's a chance we might drown. When the dark touch the ground, we come round. When the dark touch the ground, we come round. When the dark touch the ground, we come round. When the dark touch the ground. You might think we some guys, but we really just men. We don't walk on the water, we still gotta swim. I just keep it 1,000 while they play pretend. I just keep it 1,000. Yeah. Go so hard that they gotta give props. Team full of stars, now they connecting dots. Not a heartbreaker, I just make hearts drop. And I think that they hate me because I'm unorthodox.